Kenpachi, a fearsome warrior from the Bleachverse known mainly for his immense power, versus Madara and Obito, two of the strongest shinobi in the Naruto franchise ever. And as for the forms, I'll be using Tentails 3-head Madara and stable Jubito against 1000-year Blood War Kenpachi. Starting out with Kenpachi, so Kenpachi's scaling will mainly come from his fight against Gremmy, since that's where he had his most notable feat, which was him destroying Gremmy's meteor. Gremmy's meteor was roughly calculated on small planet level, which would give Kenpachi small planetary AP since he did destroy it. Kenpachi later, while fighting Gremmy, performed an impressive but very controversial feat, which was him cutting through space with his blade while in a Shikai state. Some may interpret this feat as galaxy level since there was one inside that space, but since Gremmy created it with his hacks, that doesn't mean he can actually attack someone with a galaxy's level of force. And the same goes for Kenpachi since his Shikai allows him to cut through anything which is a hack, so you shouldn't scale to Galaxy because you can't scale to your hacks. And this is more supported by the fact that when Gremmy's meteor was hurling down at the Serite, everyone thought they were going to die even while Kenpachi was there. Basically what I'm implying is that they didn't believe that Kenpachi was strong enough to stop the meteor. And even when he did cut it, it was made a massive deal, which it was, but it would be more consistent to have Kenpachi at the planetary ranges because if he was Galaxy or anything above, no one likely would have been even panicking. So having Kenpachi at around planetary is fair and more consistent, but Bankai does however give it 5 to 10 times amp, so I think it's fair to have Kenpachi at around large planetary. For Kenpachi's speed, he should be much faster than light considering that simple Zeros are shown to move at the speed of light and most of the main casts have already surpassed that threshold. And on top of that, Kenpachi has his Bankai which can give between 5 to 10 times of an amp in speed, so he should be FTL+. Now as for Madara and Obito, and yes, I'm only scaling for their Tentails form, otherwise this wouldn't even be fair. Madara after getting the Jubi amp was basically unstoppable because of how powerful the Tentails actually is. The Tentails is many times more powerful than any of the other tailed beasts as it overpowered all of them at the same time. And the Ninetales was stated to have enough power to turn the world to ash, and Naruto only had half of Kurama's power, so imagine what the Tentails could do. We can't figure out the exact power difference between the 9 and Tentails, but it would be a safe assumption to assume that Madara in this form is likely mid to large planetary. Almost the same can be said with Obito, but there is a power gap between them, but Obito is definitely planetary. Their speed should be above light speed as we've seen characters like Haku perform light speed movements back in OG Naruto. And Naruto as well in his KC1 form when he blitzed the Raikage, who is almost the speed of light. Using Naruto, we can get Madara to many times the speed of light, as with each form Naruto gets even faster, so Madara should be around FTL+ as well. Also for their durability, it should be almost directly equal to their AP since if they're able to exert a certain force, they also should be able to withstand that said force. Now as for their abilities, all of them have powerful abilities, but when it comes to versatility and just more abilities to use, Madara and Obito have it all. Their main offense and defense is their truth-seeking orbs, which are orbs capable of one-shotting opponents and manifesting themselves as shields when necessary or anything really else. Madara also has limbo clones, which are invisible clones of himself in a different dimension which are similar in power to Madara himself. Madara and Obito can also regenerate extremely well. A good example demonstrating this is when half of Madara's upper body got completely disintegrated and he regenerated it back pretty quickly. Kenpachi's abilities mainly revolve around utilizing a sword to fight in a variety of ways, but sadly he doesn't have too many abilities that he can use to help him. Now for what you've all been waiting for, their win conditions and how likely they are to win in that given condition. Also, we're going to equalize the verses so they can actually damage each other. Let's start with Kenpachi. So Kenpachi really only has one win condition that I can think of, and that's his blade. Kenpachi's blade while in his Shikai form allows him to cut through anything, which is a form of Durneg, but the only problem here is the insane regeneration that Madara and Obito possess. And of course, while Kenpachi is attempting to kill them, they're not just going to let it happen, they likely will use their truth-seeking orbs or Madara's limbo clones to avoid and block his attacks. So the likelihood of Kenpachi getting a nice clean hit on them is pretty low because of their hacks, so I'm going to give this specific win condition a likelihood of 5%. Now for Madara and Obito's win condition, and they actually have a surprising amount of them. The first includes them just one-shotting Kenpachi with the Truth-Seeking Orb, which is a dirt negation ability, and this will more than likely land since they each have multiple of them. The second win condition is Madara just abusing his limbo clones on Kenpachi. And since Kenpachi can't see or sense them, he would inevitably die to them. There's also things like Madara's mages that will likely cause a problem to Kenpachi, and of course Infinite Tsukiyomi, which is basically a guaranteed way of winning once activated. And these are all of the other winning conditions that I could think of and their likelihood of happening. Overall, Madara and Obito have way too many hacks for Kenpachi to deal with, and the fact that all it takes for them to beat Kenpachi is one good hit is pretty unfair, since Kenpachi doesn't have the regeneration abilities that Obito and Madara possess. And I may have lowballed Kenpachi's speed, but I don't think that would have changed much since Kenpachi doesn't have an actual way of countering their hacks. And yes, he could cut them down, but they are basically immortal, so the only thing that could kill them is an existence erasure attack, which Kenpachi does not have, sadly. But I will say that this matchup could change depending on how you skill Kenpachi. I just have him around planetary personally because that's what I believe is the most consistent. This video was made mainly to show not that Kenpachi is weak, but more so to show that the Narutoverse is still very powerful and can compete with some Bleach characters. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. This is going to be my last Bleach video for a while, and if you made it this far, why not subscribe? It really helps the channel, and also join the Discord down below. And yeah, peace.